Well, good morning out there, everyone. Sorry for the late start. Hang on a second. Something's echoing here. Found it. All right. Sorry for the extremely late start today, but we're gonna get this flight going here as quickly as possible. And we want to thank who do we have here? Nathan. I can't read that for some reason. Hang on a second. Let me just switch modes here. Um, Well, come on, computer, play nice. There we go. Nathan underscore NONCE. Thanks for the follow. We do appreciate that. Hope you enjoy the flight. We're on Poscon today, and we're going to fly from St. Petersburg. And let me see if I can pronounce this airport correctly. Probably not. Skavsta? Skavsta. It's a part of Stockholm. It's one of the outer airports that Ryanair, of all things, uses. So, speaking of which, get in. Man, this is just not. There we go. There's the Beast that's going to take us across the water over to towards Stockholm's. And I got to look at it to be able to pronounce it. Skavsta. And I'm sure I butchered it, and my apologies. But like I said, Ryanair will be the A320 we're using today. So hopefully you all enjoy. Yes, sir, you did. We are going to be using that aircraft for that. And so I hope you enjoy. The next flight will be Saturday, and that'll be, I'm not even believe it's from Kelly Air Force Base, yes, up to Seattle. We'll be flying for Sim Air Force that day. But today we're flying for Mac Air. Today we're going from St. Petersburg over to Skavsta. So let's get up in the cockpit and continue on. Now we've already worked through getting the aircraft through the preliminary cockpit checks, which basically involves making sure we have ground power attached, not yet established to the aircraft. And you do that over here on the EFB. Just push the say on at that point. It'll come off. And I've also thrown the chocks under it. We fueled the aircraft already, 6,470 kilos worth of fuel. The passengers are heading onto the plane. There'll be 173 of them back there. And we're even going to squeeze in 300 kilograms of cargo onto the plane on top of all the bags. So that's going to kind of boil down to a zero fuel weight of 57,674 kilos. There's our fuel, bringing us up to a gross weight 64,144. I can't imagine an A380 since a lot of aircraft or a lot of airlines are thinking maybe of sidelining them. So, because they are very expensive to operate. So, but anyway, we're going to blast off here. So, we've got our aircraft loaded. Oops, let's do it this way. Preliminary checks are we'd make sure the parking brake's on, and it would be at 3 o'clock to let you know it's on. Spoilers are in the up or down position, sorry. Flaps are up, 0, and up top here you would, well, if it's cold and dark, you won't see a thing, but since we don't see any extension on the flaps right here, we're up. The ignition, engine masters 1 and 2 are off, and the selector is in the normal position. Landing gear levers down. Moving up a little bit, make sure the wipers are off. Once you've done those preliminary checks, you go into the basic power up, which is battery 1, battery 2, make sure they're on, and then you establish your external power. Now we've gone one step further and established the APU as well. That check involves a test of the fire alarm system, and then we just basically click the master switch here to on, come down, wait for the flap open. Once the flap's open, click to start. Once it's started and shows available, we bring the APU bleed on. So that's where we are right now. So we also have the nav lights on, seat belts and smoking lights are on, and the emergency lights. That way the aircraft is basically ready to get going. So without further ado, let's move up to the panel here and continue our cockpit checks. They will involve basically moving up each one of these big panels here. So we'll go up this panel first, then the big panel in the middle, and then the other panel over the first officer. So basically we've got the wipers again checked off. We are looking for any faults like this, faults that we can clear. This is because we're not in an alignment yet. So we got the cockpit recorder on. We'll go ahead and turn our IRS units on, or they call them ADIRs. We need to see a line, and then on BAT. Okay, that check is done. Go to number 2, which is actually to the far right. Again, a line, and we're looking for on BAT. Okay, that one happened, and let's get number 3 on. All right, and come on BAT. There we go. Okay, so with that, we can continue on now to this panel. That'll be strobes to the auto position, lights either to 1 or 2. And basically, there's 2 nav lights in each wingtip. So if number 1 doesn't work, switch to number 2. Now, if 1 and 2 don't work, then you got to get maintenance out. Otherwise, you can still go on. The rest of the lights remain off unless you want the wing light on. We've already got the no smoking and the seatbelt signs to on, and the emergency lights are armed. Moving up, we want to make sure the landing elevation is at auto, which is straight up 12 o'clock. And then keep moving up here looking for any faults. And as you can see, some of these faults are starting to go away with the alignment. The faults for the gens, obvious, the engines aren't running yet, hence why they're on. Turn the fuel pumps on. And we'll perform the fire test for 1. Okay. Reason why I did that is so we can make sure we see fire here, fire there. Off that goes. And we'll do the same for number 2. Really hate when it gets hung like that, but that's okay. Again, we see engine fire 2. Yep, a little further down, and we see fire here. And the master caution flashing. Test off. Okay, so they tested good. Radio number 3 up here is just the 3rd radio, folks. But as we come up, we want to make sure that our cargo heat is on, and in the 12, I put it to the 12 o'clock position here aft. Okay, we're going to now move down to the main panel, is what they call it, the eyebrow here, and then we're going to come down to this part of the panel. Nose wheel steering needs to be on and anti-skid. FMCs, actually called McDo's here, but whatever, they're on. And then we want to check our navs 1 and 2. All right, so what I'm going to do here, I just need to do a quick check here to see if we have a common traffic frequency here or not. It does not appear so here. Making a couple of checks here to make sure. Yep, no common traffic. Okay. So we're going to set our frequency to 122.950. And this is, not 121, 122. And this is the Poscon, what they would like. And then 123.450. As I like to say, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Okay. Now over here on COM2, we'll set also 123.45. As well as the International Guard channel of 121.500. Okay. And then down for squawk, I have not received anything as of yet. Let me double check. Nope, no squawk in yet. So, we move this to on. We'll go to clear twice. And we got 2,000 in there for now. If they give us a squawk, we'll change it. And I'll move it to TA for now, giving it every chance it can. All right, moving on. TCAS is set. VHF 1 and 2 are set. And we can now move to set up the McDo's. Okay. And if you ever need to get to this page, folks, I like to just point this out. Go to data, he says, quietly, and then aircraft status brings you right back. Okay, so over here on, we'll use McDo 1, just makes it easier. We're going to go to the initialization page. Now, I've already sent the flight plan over. I just need to remember how I did it. LED. Right, LED. I love when I second guess myself. It is LED. Okay. LEDNYO. And basically these are the IATA codes for St. Petersburg, and so now I forgot how it's pronounced. Skavsta. And then 01. Put that in the company route. There's our route. And then we're going to come down. Flight number for today, we'll just use MAC 0572. Cost index will be 5. Flight level 3580, which that's all correct. And we'll do our initialization of the IRS. We want to align on the reference and confirm. And now it begins the process. Okay, we'll return. Now from here, I go a little different than the flight plan. I'm one that likes to put the flight in first, then come back. Hang on a second. All right, so let's see here. So what we're going to do is go to F plan, and we're going to put in the departure. Departure for today is runway 28 left, and I believe, yeah, Tura 1B. And since I probably am remiss in not putting that down here, let me make sure you all see the route. There you go. And then we'll get the arrival in as well. Okay, just going to flip this to plan, pull it up so we can watch it. Now, GPS primary lost is on while we're aligning. It'll switch to primary GPS primary once aligned. All right, so there's our first fix. You know what? I'm also going to bring up charts. There we go, and there. All right, so now you have the charts program up. This is from Navigraph. Basically, this is our routing. Let me come up here to make sure we get the fixes in correctly for our departure. 28 left, we're going to be going out to LI 785, LI 768, over to Turl. So far, so good. So let's kind of work our way through it. Okay, and then we're going to get on the flight plan. Okay, so we know that part is all good. And of course, we'll make sure above 8,000 is what it does say. So we'll come out of this. We'll kind of walk ourselves across here. So OK BES. Oop, did not want to click on that. Then we're going to Randva, Lucan. Okay, so far so good. And then from Randva, we're going to TLL, to Nebsi, to our initial into Stavik. I'll never get it right, folks. Skavsta. There we go. I told you I'd eventually get it. And then we'll go ahead and throw in our intended arrival. Let's get an updated METAR real quick from there. The winds have been kind of iffy, switching between 2.6 and 8, so that's why I want to make sure we're, fairly close. 160. So we're still within 80, so we're good. So we'll go with what we have planned. Which is the Nilig to Delta, so it's Nilig to Rembo to KN501. And we'll go ahead and shoot the localizer. Why is it wanting us on the C? Did I say 2.6? No. What the heck's it doing? All right. It's the right runway. Try this again. Why are we not? Okay, well, we're not going on to 2 Charlie, though. That's what's got me bothered here. Take a look at 2 Charlie just to make sure it's not gonna really run us amok here. Yeah, it's going to run us to 2.6. Oh, my bad. I got myself all turned around. Okay, that's on me, folks. I got myself turned around. Okay, now I gotta figure out what the heck is going on here. Oh, there we go. I got myself on the second route for somehow. Okay. All right, so we got all of that entered correctly now. Sorry for the long delay there, folks. Hey, Jay Drums, how are you? Yeah, the issue, yeah, flying an Airbus. Gotcha, Mr. Boeing. Let me know how that works out for you in your Zebo or 737 that you fly. All right, so we got all that figured out, and now we are going to go back to the initialization page, go to the right, going to do a wait request. And what it's going to do is pull the information from, I can do this, whoop, not that one. We can do this right. Hopefully we'll see it. We're going to just do it the easy way because moving it never works. Okay, so zero fuel weights, 57.7. They round up 29.8. That's good. And block fuel, they round up. I prefer to have put 6.4, even though there's 70 more in there. I prefer it to be lower, but that's just me. Now, my reserve that I'm planning is 2.2, and that'll allow me to make my alternate and still have 45 minutes of fuel on board. All right, so that all looks good. So now we go to the perf page, and I'm going to run a back program here just to make sure. 28 left, runway 8, and update the weather real quick. Okay, everything matches. Takeoff data. Okay, so we're going to be doing a configure 1F departure. So flaps 1 / trim is up 0. So we're pretty much not going to move it. Put too many dots in. Okay. Oh, down to whatever. And we're going to flex at 68. Okay, now that's going to yield us 150, 150, and 151 respectively here. So 150, 150, 151. Now, I'm going to go look at a site here, Black Box 711, I think it is. I'll double check here. Black Box 711. And see if we have any, and I'll bring this up here in a minute, ULLI, boom. I figured he had something. Let me bring this up here. And I'm going to move this back over. And I'm actually going to go ahead, we'll hold it right here. Let me come over here. Let's get rid of charts. I hate this part. That one. Okay, back to that. Charts. Okay, so you got the black box side up here. Now, what are we using this for? When you look at it, it gives you a lot of information about the St. Petersburg Pulkovo Airport. Transition altitude's 3,500 feet. It's 79 feet above sea level. And then the numbers we need off of this. Hang on a second. Okay, the numbers we need are the thrust reduction, which is right here at NAD1, NADP1, and the acceleration. So you see it's 1580 and 3080. So we'll go 1580 slash 3080. Plug that in. Engine out acceleration we can plug in from this page. 28 left is 1600. It's not far off, but we'll go ahead for realism. Transition was 3,500. Okay, now I do not know what this is for, folks, so I do apologize. I still have yet to find a video to help me on that. But basically, with all of this information plugged in, we now have the McDo set up. I just want to go through one more time and make sure there's no discontinuities. And there are not. Okay, so we should be good here with this. The only other thing we'll have to do now is program our MCP here. So what we're going to do, click to here to the middle. Okay, we're going to put in the current altimeter setting, which is 30. Oh, doesn't show it. Okay, hang on a second. I know another way to get it. All right, it is 10:20. Right here's our, you can see that in the strip that just came up. No significant weather. Holy mackerel. I thought I saw a line of thunderstorms bearing in on them. So that's kind of interesting. All right, so we'll get rid of that. Okay, we're going to come up to the MCP here, or the control panel in the middle. 1020 is in our altimeter setting. FD, we don't need the landing system on yet. We're in ARC and we want it set to 20. Now for our buttons across the top, we want constraints. Make sure these match, and I'm going to go ahead and switch them to VOR. Okay, dots across the top. The auto throttle is on, and the altimeter or altitude, we're going to be going up to 38,000. Okay, and that is set. And folks, we are ready to push back. So tried something here a little different, trying to get us going a little quicker by having that route in there already. Making sure. Let's make sure a couple of numbers here look right. Fuel. Looks good. And we're ready to set up for pushback. So first thing we're going to do is come through here, remove our baggage loaders, our fuel truck, close the door. Okay, we're going to come up to the overhead panel, come off external power. Ground, we're off external power. And come back to, it says to come back down. There we go. And we'll disconnect from there. Now, if we look outside, we're not going to see anything around our airplane. Well, we won't. We're in front of a pillar. There we go. Only thing in place right now are the chocks, and we'll get rid of those once we call for the pushback, better pushback tub. All right. And all the baggage loaders are gone. So let us proceed. First thing I want to do is get us up here on our ACARS program. And unfortunately, there are a ton of 320s in here, so bear with me while I find the one I want. It'll probably be the first one because I started from the bottom. Wow. I'm starting to really think it might be. Wish there was an easier way to search for it. All right, come on, airplane, where are you? Okay, well, I didn't see it. Worst case scenario, we'll go with a different airline, but wow, I don't think they have it. It's okay, we'll go with a different one if we have to. Okay, we're going to have to go with a different one. Hang on a second as I look for it. That one. Okay. All right, and oh. And I'm just gonna put in our route. Start. Okay, and we are ready to go. So that's going. Beacon needs to come on. Let's get the tug on its way. Better push back. Start.
Ground to cockpit. Please show me where you want to go.
All right. Really hate when it does this and I can't Really hate that you can't make this map any better. Let's put it like that.
Ground to compete. Tau is driving up.
Okay, tug is on its way. All right, so beacon, we'll go ahead and get that turned on. And we'll get the wing lights on at this time. Tow vehicle's on its way, and ACARS is running. While we're here, let's get those chocks out of here. Okay, and I'm going to go to weather on here. I really don't like how this program depicts land. It's got it kind of backwards, but that's okay. Chocks are removed and
Okay,
jetway.
doors and hatch are closed. Ready to connect.
Okay, go ahead, connect. All right, and again, while we're waiting on him, I'm just going to make sure things are set up properly so we hear them better. 50. Get this over to that, and
Tau connected and bypass pin inserted. Ready, park and brake.
now you're going to wait. Okay, 150. What do we got? 50, 50, and 51. Okay. All right, and okay. Parking brake off. Folks, to start this,
and you may start engine.
starting this airplane's real easy. I'm going to wait till we clear the gate area a little bit. See, I'd like to have taken us all the way back to the line, but, well, we'll be close enough. We'll go ahead and start up now. So, make sure you move the selector to engine start. And we just move the selector level to start. Valve opens, the engines are turning. Looks like it's firing up right now. Okay, looks like we have play it, DOP, play it, do peeled. Appreciate the follow. Hope you're having a great day as well. We enjoy everyone that follows us. Thanks for flying with us. We're heading to St. Petersburg. I'm sorry, from St. Petersburg to
Operation complete.
Skavsta. And he just wants our parking brake. Hang on a second. Again, we're going to take it from the arrow pointing to 12 over to 3 o'clock.
Disconnecting Tau. Please stand by.
Okay, we can now start up number 1. Same process. Make sure it's an engine start, which it is, and number 1's turning on. Play it, dope. Okay. Why an A320 from Ryanair? I don't know. It's what came with Flight Factors, why I chose it. So, and I see Ryanair does fly into the airport we're going to. So I took a little liberty. What is it called? Captain's prerogative. But I'm glad you joined us. Hope you enjoy. We'll try to do our best and get the bus in there.
Tower is disconnected and bypass pin has been removed. Send signal on the left. We'll see you next time and have a safe flight.
See ya. Thanks for flying with Mike. Now we do have the Avail showing here on the ECAS, so that means our engines are on. Let's move them to norm here. And then just going down, we can turn the APU bleed off. And packs 1 and 2 should be on, and they are. And then finally APU master off. So that'll start cooling down and then shut down. All right, now before we taxi, still haven't heard anything from Poscon. Interesting. Well, you know, it is what it is. Let's see. Oh, and I put BER in the title. Let me change that real quick. I just happened to notice it. I have not flown into Costa Rica yet with X-Plane. That actually I need to put on my list. I will do that right now. That is. I can't remember the main airport, but I have flown in there when I was on FSX. So I've been in there. Let me do that real quick. And that'll change over there. There we go. Now we're looking right. Okay, so the before taxi checks are runway lights on. We'll get those in a minute. Parking brake, or parking brake. How about brake fan to on? Auto brake to max. Weather radar. We'll go with number 2 today. And spoilers, we'll go to armed. Just got to see the white band, flaps to 1. And we're ready to taxi. And we got configuration 1F. All right, so let's start heading out. St. Petersburg traffic, Mac Air 572, taxiing to runway 28 left for departure. Okay, put our lights on to taxi. Out we go. Let's take a look at her. Okay. Heading off to 28 left. And we'll do that via main alpha, which is the taxiway ahead of us, all the way to the end, Alpha 1. I believe it is. SJO Swan. Okay, we'll look that up. Hang on a second. SJO. And we'll see what we can do here. Let's get ready to make the turn. All right. While we're taxiing, I'm going to go ahead and check all of our surfaces, make sure we're good to go there. It looks like they're moving. Then Okay, now what I was doing here, folks, it's a little awkward for me. There's a button right here on top that disengages nose wheel steering so you can check your rudders while you're taxiing. So the airplane doesn't do this. Whoop, and then go whoop. All right, so the rudders are working. And finally, let's do our takeoff check. We're just needing to do a test. We do the takeoff config check, and we're ready to go. Cabin's ready. All checklists complete for takeoff. So folks, a short taxi down to the end here. And yeah, we're almost there. So finally, at the end of the runway, we'll make sure the packs are on. Landing lights will come on the runway. Taxi, nose light to takeoff. Transponder to TARA. We'll do that one now. And do want to make sure we don't go off here. And we're going to go above. There we go. And if a controller comes on, I forgot, we got to make sure that mic is on in Flight Factor. Okay. Again, transition level is 3,500 feet set. Okay, I just want to make sure nothing's going on that I don't know about on Poscon. Nope, no new messages. No ATC. I must have set my time wrong. All right, that's okay. All right. You know what? I forgot what key I set up for Poscon. Been a while. Keypad. Poscon. Z. Okay. Sorry about that, folks. St. Peter's traffic. Mac Air 572 departing runway 28 left. I was using my key for VATSIM, which was totally wrong. All right, so... Uh-oh.
Approaching 28 left.
Is that a sausage grinder? You don't like surprises. That is true, Mr. Drums. You are correct. Okay, and lining up. We'll get the lights all on here in a second. Since I don't have a co-pilot.
On runway 28 left.
Okay, let's get her stopped. And lights. I'm gonna go ahead and turn the strobes on. Okay, takeoff is basically we're gonna go to bring the throttles up to 50% and take them all the way into flex. Rotate. Doesn't say the degrees, which is kind of interesting, but we'll set that so we don't strike the tail hopefully this time. And lights are on. One last check to make sure. We are rolling right now. Parking brake off. Trim double checked.
On runway
Here we go.
28 left. On runway
50%.
left.
Now, according to V1 simulations. He's a A320 pilot as well. You can just take these engines straight to the level you want. And you let the aircraft engine, electronic engine controls take care of the easiness of them. 100 knots. And I didn't set the trim because there is none to set.
Rotate V2.
Okay. Climbing with the flight director. Gear up.
Gear up.
Okay. I am going to go ahead and let the autopilot take it from here. And Aviation 418, where did you get that A320 from? Flight Factor. And it actually comes with Ryanair. Okay, we've got thrust climb set. Continuing our checks, nose light can go off once we turn them all off, which we'll do at 10,000. Flaps can come up. Now, these clouds, folks, are with a thunderstorm line, which they were saying they did not have, which is kind of funny. I will look it up. I can't remember. I want to say it was something like 50 or 60 bucks. I could be wrong, though, at X-Plane. And we just passed transition. Yeah, I know. There. Ease up on me, lady. Ah, I tell you. Brake fan. Oh, I got to go to this one because I'm up a little high now. There we go. Brake fans off. And spoilers to disarm. And again, we just push them down. Again, let's look outside. But it's the Flight Factor A320, and with it came Ryan, Air Berlin, Delta. What else? I can't remember now. Oh, did I say American? American was in it too. Or did I add Delta? Anyway, it does come with a few liveries with it. Not many, but a couple. And a bunch are out there on X-Plane as well. So, I'm going to go ahead and get our load set up. Okay, so we are climbing out. Once we pass 10,000 feet here, we're going to turn the lights off. We don't have to worry about any ice, and the arrow's already set to standard.
10,000 feet.
Okay, there was the call, so we're above. TRA on. Okay. Lights coming off. And we'll be kind and turn that off because this will be partially nighttime flying. So turning that light off for the passengers will help them in sleeping. All right. Just JK. All right. Play it dope out. We appreciate you sticking around. Should be a line of thunderstorms, but, well, we're not seeing them. Let's take a look around. Well, they must have collapsed, or X-Plane doesn't do a real good job with weather. Although they did a few days ago into New Orleans when I flew the Flight Factor 767. Had a good clap of thunder in there I wasn't expecting. So there we are, folks, on our way coming out of Russia here into, I'm not sure what's next to it at this point. So let me make sure we're on course. Appears to be Terrell is up next. Good. And all right, let's I'm just getting my what I use for my chat window back up. Let's see here. See if I can't get some data for y'all. Flight factor. Let me get that information here at the org store. I was off by a little. It's almost 90 bucks. So here's the link to it at X-Plane's forums. So there y'all go if you're interested in it. If I land this Ryan Butter, I will go crazy. Nice. Well, we'll try and do our best. Flying with Mike, you never know what the landing will look like. So, oops, not that one. There we go. All right, so looking at the routing here, we are about 6 or 7% into the way through 18,000, as you just heard. Got about an hour and 7 minutes to fly. So let me go ahead and pull that up right now. There we go. That way you all can see how the aircraft's doing and what we're tracking here. Across the top there, down in the lower right is our Discord channel. Feel free if you like to continue in an offline when we're not flying. You know, we got the Discord channel as well, so feel free to come aboard. I try to monitor it in flight, but kind of run out of spots to be able to do that. So we are on our way. J Drums, strike the rail. Meant to say tail. Actually, that wasn't that bad of a takeoff. All right, let's get the seatbelt, or at least the no smoking off, which would be your electronic sign. I think get them all off. Let them move about the cabin. So Juan Santa Marina. Okay, Maria. See what we can do there to get in there. Let me look that up here on another page. There we go. Let's see what kind of a nighttime landing we have over here in Sweden. Skavsta. Wow, interesting name. And just for you, J Drums, here is a view from the tail. All right, so we are on our way, passing through 25,000, heading up. Got another 13 or so to go. And let's take a look here. We got the weather radar, like I said, up over here. Here's that line of thunderstorms I was talking about, St. Petersburg. So we should be just on the tail end of it now as we hit this Gulf of Finland. Like I said, I really don't like this map. It is, and I'm dialed up here as much as I can. It's just very hard sometimes to figure out what they're trying to say is land and water. Now I know, but it's just, man, it's not what I'm used to, I guess. For some reason, I thought it was the other way around. The light was the water and the dark was the land. Oh well. But anyway, you can see there was a pretty good line of thunderstorms heading their way. And then we should be clear from, well, actually it's a dying line. Okay, so it is dying out. Okay. That explains a lot then. Okay, so all right, so let's see here. I'm just kind of curious. J-O, that's why I didn't find it. Yep, I have been into this airport on FSX, so that'll be fun. We'll give it a shot here soon. Might even do it with FedEx. That might be an interesting run. Okay, so as you can tell, we fly for a couple of airlines. But they have the Delta Air logo on the bottom of the aircraft too. I've actually, to be honest, never paid attention. I'll have to take a look at that here in a couple days. Interesting. All right, learned something new. Time to wrap it up. No, just kidding, folks. Oh. So, Jay Drums, did you get airborne? I don't know if you're on Poscon or not, but I don't think I saw you. Hang on, I should look. Let's see up here. Nope, I don't see you up here. Well, I keep hoping one day they'll put Poscon flights back up on SimToolkit. Don't know why they don't display. Okay, that didn't do anything. I'm just seeing the differences in maps here on Poscon. But I gotta keep turning the weather back on. There we go. All right, let's zoom down a little bit. All right, folks, we are on our way, 31, almost 32,000 feet. And let's come back out to the airplane. Now that you said that, now you're going to make me look at underneath, see what all they do. Because I know some of them do some interesting things like tail numbers on the wings. I know that's a requirement in some countries. Of course, some hit Santa Claus with the nose of the aircraft. So I'll be definitely looking for that on Delta here next time. All right, we'll at least put up the flight map here from Sim Toolkit. Oh, there's that pesky line in the scenery that I always get with X-Plane. And one thing about Sim Toolkit, folks, if you don't have that as a flight planning or use with your flights, you're missing out, folks. It's a really good item to have. And the best thing of all about it, folks, it's free. There isn't much anymore in the flight sim that's free anymore. And especially something like this. And I'm just glad it's free. Yeah, I've got my quirks with it. Now that Navigraph and SimBrief have come together, I'm hoping that helps us with I have Sim Toolkit. That's what's showing there in the lower left-hand corner there, J Drums. That's the live map, I believe. Let me, oh, here comes the live map. And this is right now pretty much with FatSim only on it. They don't have an overlay or option to bring in Poscon yet. Used to, but not anymore. So, oh, looking ahead, looks like we may get some rain into our arrival airport. So, oh, we'll see. there's a batch to the west. But it's a really good program, folks. Right here, you know, is a really good reason for it. You can see everything on VATSIM. When Poscon was working on it, you could see when they had stuff up. I don't know why that was taken down, or if I'm just not finding the right options in the settings and all to turn on. But I'll go over to the Discord channel they have to find out what I'm doing wrong. And as you can see, it's that time of the night. Well, over there in Europe, where it's prime time, and most people are online. So, but on Poscon, nothing's, at the moment, nothing's up. I appreciate that, J Drums. Appreciate that. It's why you don't have it, because you fly with Captain Mike. Yeah, well, we appreciate that. So let me get back out here. Let's see what else we can show here, since we still got a good hour to go or so. So I am assuming we're going to be landing either in what's called dusk here in the United States. I don't know the way it's set out in the rest of the world, where the sun is setting, or possibly set already. Kind of get a... But we're assuming that's going to happen here as we draw closer. So it'll be fun. It's been a while since flying with Mike has come in during the nighttime, but you know, that's what's called flying. You know, depending when you take off, when you land is going to be dependent on that sun. Okay, and we are leveling off in cruise now at 38,000. Let's do a quick cruise check here. Not that check, this check. And what we're going to do is just go through each of the pages. I'm going to start with fuel because we need to balance out. As you can see, we got more in the right side than the left. And to do that, we're going to first turn on the crossfeed. And basically, it's not going to take the fuel now over to here. What we got to do, move that a little over. We'll shut these pumps down. It's kind of like the 747, folks, that I've flown with PMDG. You turn the pumps off, and then it'll basically open up the pathway for all the tanks to go to one engine. So it's going to bring this number down rather quickly. But what it's doing is just both engines are burning off that side. So instead of split between the two. And we'll come back to that. All right, so let's go through each one by clicking. Oh, let's do this first. So here you get a good view of all of the panels, a lot of quick view. By clicking all, we'll start with the engines, and we're making sure everything's green. Then we go to the bleeds. Now I know some things are not right on here, and I can't remember what V1 simulation said. Check our pressurization, our electrics, make sure everything's running right. Hydraulics. Back to the fuel page. Okay, we'll continue on. To the APU, which there shouldn't be anything, it's off. To the air conditioning. Now if you want, you can always work this to where more warmth in the back than the front, however you want to set the levers up top. This one, we're mostly concerned that we have oxygen here, and this is just the cockpit, folks, so that way we get on air if we have to do an emergency descent. The wheels are up, doors closed, and the flight surfaces are all good. Let's see. coming up. Oh, good. I got back here in time. And basically, once we get, oh, we got a long way to go. Once we get down there, we'll reverse the process, basically. Finally, we want to, after we click all, go to our systems page, which is normal, do a recall, clear, and we're back to our page. I'll keep it on fuel for now. We got a ways to go. We still got to burn through another 1,000 pounds. So to level up, and that's because I sat on the ground so long with the APU running. So, and unfortunately, that only burns from one tank. Okay, so 1,000 to go on that. If you wanted to set the cabin, you can lower these, raise them if you want. This one handles the cockpit, this one's the forward, aft, you know, it's up to you. And we'll look back here at the temperatures in a moment. Just letting the fuel balance out. Okay, we're almost there. And it looks like we got about 11 miles to Tango Lima Lima VOR. And then our next one will be Nebsy. And after Nebsy, we'll start our descent. So we're going to, as soon as we balance out here, we'll get into the arrival brief. Take a look at our charts and get things squared away here. While we're waiting here, I'm just going to go ahead and get rid of charts we don't need. There we go. And center that up. Okay, so you can see we're now about 40 kilos away from balanced. So I'm going to go ahead and bring us back up. So what we'll do is turn the left pumps back on, and then we'll turn off the crossfeed. That way we don't lose fuel in the pipes and potentially flame out the engine. Okay, 30 to go. All right, we're within the last 10 here. Okay, so let's get those pumps back on. And then we'll turn off the crossfeed. And again, just realize that crossfeed valve is not taking fuel from the left side and putting it into the right side. It just closes the pipe up, so whichever side you turn off, it'll flow the fuel. So that way, in this case, the right side was powering both engines. Okay, so back down to the middle here, get rid of that. And we'll go ahead and close out over here. Get some up-to-date information. Okay, as of 1820s, whoa, 20 Zulu, we're only talking about 6 minutes old. Okay, 160 at 6. Let's see if we get the same through here, through Sim Toolkit. sure is. Okay. All right, so as you can see from the METAR, we're going to go ahead and press into the departure brief. Right now, real quick before we get into it, we are looking at 132 miles from top of descent, 268 miles out of the airfield. So let's get into this and get it rolling here. Okay, there's the charts program we'll be using. Again, you have the METAR in the chat room. So we're just about to cross off into, I'm not even sure what they call this body of water as we head across towards Sweden, I believe it is. But anyway, we're going to be flying the, hang on, it'll come, oh, I've still got the wrong, wait a minute, I have the wrong chart. There we go. My bad. Go and that and okay, now we're on the right one. To Charlie. So we're going to come from we'll go up to the top here, ATIS 126.28. We're not going to worry too much on that because I can pull it up like we do now. 142 above sea level, 142 feet. Transition, I hate when it says this, by ATC. We'll look it up another way. It's an RNAV 1 approach minimum, and DME backup is not available for position reports. Reading through these, again, it's the NILUG to Charlie arrival to runway 8. This will culminate into a localizer only approach, so this ought to be fun. Let's see if we have any directions. Here we go. The new gal. Let me kind of back out a little so we can kind of read and see. So we're going to go from NILUG, Kilo November 420, Kilo November 910, at or above 4,000 feet at that point, Kilo November 900, and then Kilo November 801, and at that point, above 2,100 feet. So pretty simple, straightforward. Here we go into the airport kind of deal. Once we're there, let me pull up the approach chart here. I thought I had it. Okay. As always, on a jet frequencies across the top, plus our MSAs around. Usually it tells you. I'm not seeing where. So basically, as long as we remain above 2,500 feet, we don't hit anything. So we're going to come off of our approach fix straight onto the localizer and follow that in. Now, at distance 6.2 from our localizer, we got to be at 2,100 feet and coming down to 3-degree glide slope. There is no glide slope on this, so we have to maintain that. We'll show you how you figure that out here in a minute. The localizer is Whiskey Echo Kilo. There's the frequency, 111.3. Final approach, 078. Now our MDA is 500 feet, MSL. And looks like we got a little bit of a slope to the runway here, so we'll have to work with that. There's your missed approach right below all of that, folks. It's basically straight away to we gonna go to. Oh, vectoring for a new approach. So pretty simple. 2,500 feet's where we'll climb to. Transition level shows, or altitude of 5,000 here. We'll read it on the black box real quick to make sure. And looking at our routing, we'll just come straight in, 6.2, 3.0, right on in. Now, to maintain this 3-degree glide slope, sure can. I try to do that all the time. The replay mode. So now from 2,100 feet down, we're going to be within 5.4 miles. So our descent angle, let's see here real quick. Just pulling up some landing data so I got an idea how fast we're coming in. 140. Okay. So we're going to need to maintain 743 feet a minute from distance 6.2 all the way down to get that 3-degree glide slope. That's what this chart's all about. PAPIs appear to be on the left, and high ALS is what we have for the landings lights, which we should be able to see. And here is the depiction of the missed approach. Last thing, RVR is 1,400 meters and 500 feet. So that's our minimums. And that, folks, is pretty much how simple it is. And yes, Play It Dope ALT, we will run the tape at the end. Like I said, I try to do that on all of them unless things were just really, really out of whack. But they shouldn't be here, knock on wood. Okay, so we're going to get that out of the way. Let's take a look at where we stand on this approach. Well, let's hit the right buttons. There we go. 226 out and now 90. So we are closing in. Seatbelt signs are off. We'll get off the fuel page here. Okay, everything looks good. Cabin temperatures 23. Okay, 23 and 25. I have a little chart here that I work with. 25 is 77 degrees. They ought to be nice and toasty back there. Matter of fact, since we're getting ready to land, I'm going to go ahead and pull it down just a smidge. Okay, and that'll bring it to 25. All right, so let's look at the black box, make sure. If he's, he may not have done this airport, so hang on, let me take a look. Yeah. Okay, oh, wrong one, I did it again, ESKN. And he does not. Okay, no big deal. All right, so distance of under 80, so we'll begin setting up our pages. So let's go to the perf page. How about, yeah, next phase, QNH. Oh, did it to me again. All right, and 1022. Temperature 22. Wind 160 at 6. Okay, so we got that 5,000, 137, 132. Are we pretty close to what we got? MDA is 500. Full configuration on the flap, so we're set up now for the localizer runway 8. Okay, and then once we get on the ground, not 100% sure how this is going to look, but my hopes are to come off on Bravo or Alpha and we'll park in the stands somewhere between 6, 7, and 8. But I'm not sure how this airport looks yet, so we'll kind of play that one by ear. All right, so we've got the perf data set up. We're not going to go into approach phase yet, and I'll kind of explain that once we start coming down. 201, 63. Okay, so under 40, I'll begin setting our altitude. That altitude needs to come down to 4,000. We'll bring it. Yeah, we'll bring it down to 4,000. Okay, so we've got everything set up for now. The ILS we won't be using, but we'll have the localizer in there. See if the nav page already has it. Looks like it does. .378. Perfect. All right, so and then finally we'll, if I remember right, it's the down arrow when we're ready to start down. 50 miles out, and currently looks like with what I use is TOPCAT, since the A320 page keeps coming up not available for me for performance. There used to be a page we could go to, and so I have to do this from TOPCAT. It sometimes is right, sometimes it's close. It's close enough, let's put it that way. But basically, we're looking at a approach speed. They're calling 136, so around 140, but VREF is 131. Now I think we saw 132 here. Oh, next. Oh, we do have it right now. Well, yeah. So, oh yeah, we did say 131, but it's close enough. So to squabble over 1 knot, folks, is kind of ridiculous. But I'm pretty sure we'll be able to tell we're 1 knot too fast. TOPCAT better get on the stick. It does a pretty good stick there, Mr. Drums. All right, so, and if all works out, we should have about 2,700 feet of runway left. We'll come in brakes medium, and we're on a 9,400 foot long runway. So we're hoping that Bravo taxiway, which is right before the end, we'll be able to come right off and in. I think there's anyone else. Let's see here. Yeah, so we're going to extend it to Bravo. So, and then taxi in. Now, Mr. Drums, how's your Zebo working out? Now, in case you all missed, see, tomorrow I work, which is, forgive me, folks, I'm still recuperating from a lot of 48-hour shifts. Tomorrow is Friday, so I'm working 24 hours. Come home Saturday, we're going to try and fly from Kelly Air Force Base up to Seattle. About a 4.5-hour flight in the Zebo 737. It'll be the C40 look to it. Yeah, it's supposed to be a BBJ 700 -700 version of the 737. Well, I don't have it. We'll work with the 800. Again, I don't think we're going to really see much difference. So, just fine. All right, so let's make sure we're 33 out. So let's go ahead and get that set to 41. I would just set for 4,000. All right, so we should be at our top of descent. Up, the hockey stick is now showing on the nav display. Get it pulled up here a little bigger for y'all. Actually, we could just do this and same thing. All right, one last check. Make sure we got the fuel pump set right. Everything else, we'll go ahead and turn the wing lights on. Okay. A few weeks ago, we flew from Paris Orly Airport. One of the routes Jay Drums suggested. He's got an around the world tour. We're kind of trying to figure out how to get the next leg into. I'll fill you in on that in a minute. But anyway, we went from Orly up to Warsaw, and pretty similar. It was dusk when we came into Warsaw. It was actually pretty cool. So hopefully it's going to look the same here. I think we had more cloudiness in the area than we're going to probably have here. Maybe not, because I do remember there was rain. So we'll kind of see how that looks. Last look here at our charting. Syncy. Okay, guys. Hey, oh, there's Stockholm. I'm trying to say, you're making this really too hard for me to figure out where I am. There we go. So yeah, we still got some rain lurking out there, so we'll plan for the worst. So, but yeah, we're going to, anyway, we came in and the conditions were pretty similar to this. The flight, though, that we're looking to do out of St. Petersburg on his tour is to Tokyo. And streaming 4,000-mile flights, that can get challenging. And I'm debating if I'm going to stair-step it over, come down to Baku, over to, oh, I can't think of the name of the airport in the Mongolian area. But then, so 2 more stops along the way. Still weighing that out. We'll kind of see how that falls here in a minute, or in due time. I also have another aircraft over at Kansai that needs to get up somewhere, and I haven't flown that in a while, so I have to come back to it too. So we are now not far off. We're 7 miles out. I'm going to go ahead, initiate our descent. Now, to do that, folks, you got to have the arrow pointing down. I say that and I did it wrong. There we go. Now it's in a managed descent. So, oh, I love the long haul flight, so that's why I'm weighing it out how we want to fly it. So, we'll definitely see J Drums. Like I said, I may cut it off into those shorter flights, or who knows, maybe one day I'll just say we're going to go. And I have done one long one before on stream. Prior to streaming, I did them all the time. Okay, so now when you're in a managed descent in the Airbus, for those not familiar, this green dot, it will work its way in, but we try to keep it between this yellow line and this one, and it works its way in. It's very similar to the little gauge in the nav display and on your PFD. As you're descending, try to keep that, you know, square in the center. Same thing, just different locations and stuff on it. Okay, so we are now descending, so let's make sure. Okay, we don't need the ILS button just yet. And we'll go ahead and turn the seatbelt signs on. It's time for them to head that way anyway. And with regard to the rewind that we'll do after the landing, we do try to do other views as well. So you can get an angle, different way of looking at it. We got an outro song that I like to play when we're doing that too. So, all right, so currently standing, we see here on the charts. Okay, and oops, still off. Okay. All right, so our first new, what's it called? I can't, you know, I think I'm really going to have to. Millig is 61 miles away as we descend in. All right, so everything looks good. Take another look outside. Try to do it on the sunlit side. Go get a good look at the Airbus coming in. All right, so looking here, we are 12 minutes out. Well, I do apologize that we only have 4 people out there. We're trying our best here to keep the chat going. But yeah, sorry that it appears dead. We're doing the best we can. All right, so seatbelts are on, coming up on 17, so we're below 18. All right. Set the baro at 5. Okay. All right, now with the Airbus, I mentioned about we'll use the second one over here, activate to approach phase. We're going to do that after NILIG, shortly after it. And basically what that's going to do is take your airspeed. Basically, if you don't click here and turn off the auto throttle, not turn off, but disengage, take over the speed control basically, you're going to slow to 147. Not the best place to slow. You want to be doing that as you come around. But if you take over speed control, it won't allow the plane to slow like that. So that's one thing where we're going to be waiting on. So hang on a second. Go. And we'll keep going. NILUG is showing up now on the nav display at, is that 30 or 80? 30. Okay, coming around here. Looking over at our weather, we still have that little shot of rain that may be coming over the airfield here shortly. Kind of see how that pans out. And if I can remember, when we get on the ground at the arrival airport of, I got to look at it, folks, sorry. Oops, not that one. Skavsta, man, that's not an easy one for me. Anyway, Skavsta, we're going to show a little interesting quirk, or not quirk, interesting benefit of SimToolkit once we're on the ground. You can actually zoom down and see where you need to if given a taxi clearance, you'll have that available to you instead of having to have your charts up or something like that. It gives you a visual. So okay, that was a Mac Air. They have their own ACARS system. That's a feature on there that says basically I'm within 50 miles of the airport, and they have it set up to pause. In Poscon, it'll put you to ghost, as you can see up there. And to come out of ghost, we just go, where are you? West on ghost. There we go. All right, so we're pressing in, coming up on a 21,000. And you can see our green dot is right in between them. So we're right on the projected descent path the aircraft has. Samsung. Okay, Samsung check. Not sure. Not sure, but Samsung, huh? Nice. Okay, so we're coming up to Nylug, and then we're going to make our turn to .420 and then 910. And there's where we got to be above. Okay. Okay, passing through 18,000. Always makes me start to wonder if we're going to make our altitude restrictions. Okay, looks like we should.
18,000 feet.
Oh, Samsung Galaxy 9. Okay. Nice. I'm still in the Apple world. Actually, I don't even remember if this is an 11 or what it is. Yeah, iPhone 11. There we go. Okay, so Nylug is going under us right now. Okay, so go ahead and turn on our auto brakes to medium right now. I'm going to go ahead and dial back to 20 on my TCAS. Let's go below. Okay, so we're descending in. Through 14,000 now. I think I see the airfield. We'll find out. That would be right in this area. Appears to be in about the right location, so now somewhere out there is Stockholm's major international airport. It's towards the north there. I think I remember reading 60 or 70 miles separate the two, maybe more. So okay. Well, yeah, well, I don't have an iPhone 12, so for now, because of the way my family is, we kind of stick with iPhones, just kind of makes it easier. But we'll kind of see how things go. So far, Apple hasn't been too bad to us. They've, seemed to be good. They enjoy the MacBooks. I'm still in the good old world of the PCs. Good old Microsoft domination. But where are we at here? 11,000. Okay, so I'm going to go ahead and at least extend. See how that looks. I've always wanted to see how that looks here. Oh, yep, I can see them. Got the landing lights extended. Be turning them on at 10,000. And we've slowed to 240, which is what I like. Okay, so yeah, J Trumps. Yeah, your camera definitely has some zoom on it. I wonder if when you're going to be able to see Alpha Centauri out there. All right, there's 10,000, so lights on.
$10,000 feet.
All right, one last look at the radar over here. Where's Stockholm? There's Stockholm. Okay. All right, well, we're going to find out if it's right or wrong. One way or the other. I'm going to go ahead, take control. Well, we'll let it manage in. And I can see the little hockey stick up ahead. We're going to make 4,000, I think. All right, folks, so it's time to see what we can do into here. Skavsta traffic. Hang on a second, folks. That didn't work. Skavsta traffic. Mac Air 572. Extended downwind for the localizer runway 8. There's the airport, folks. And real quick, just so you all know, here will be a 4,000. I'm going to slow us to about, well, hopefully to 180 by the time we start in at 801, and then continue the slowdown until 140. But yeah, J-Drums, you definitely have some zoom. You can definitely make out airlines from the airport 30, 40, 50,000 feet above us. All right, I am going to go ahead and activate approach. Start slowing up to 220. Okay. All right, here we go, folks. Okay, so lights are on, barrel is set. Well, it won't be for another 1,000 or so feet. Auto brake is on. Flaps will begin setting here shortly as we slow more. And brake fan is going to be turned on. It's already on. Spoilers will arm here in a moment. Let's go ahead and slow now to... Let's go ahead and slow. I want to get below green dot before I start putting flaps out. Okay, transition level. Flaps 1. Okay, we're going to come on down, arm the spoilers. Now, to make sure we're armed again, make sure that white band is showing. Okay. And we'll go ahead and turn on the landing, LS, and localizer. So we have that to track in till I've made sure I got the runway made. Of course, we're going to have some haze. For a second there, I was about ready to call I got the runway in sight, but that's a river. Okay, let's go to flaps 2. Take us down to 2,100 feet. Hopefully by then we'll see the airport. Looks like localizer's been captured. And we're going to go ahead and begin slowing. 50 to start. I think I got the airfield in sight. Going to flaps 3. Okay.
2,500. 2,500.
2,500.
Okay. 2,100 feet coming up. What I'm going to do now is punch this in. Take us down to 1,000. Flaps full, gear down.
Gear down.
Autopilot off. Okay. Skavsta traffic, back air 572, 3-mile final, gear down, runway 8.
1,000.
Okay. Little bit of a quartering wind.
Approaching 08.
$500.
500.
100 above.
Landing.
400.
Turn the auto thrust off.
300.
300. 200. 100. 50. 40.
Oh, we're gonna float.
30. 20. 10.
Long landing, 6,000 feet remaining. $4,000 remaining.
I'll take it, 191.
$3,000 remaining.
Hope that wasn't Bravo right there. Nope. Here we go. Alrighty, so let's get into the gate and then we'll take a look at that landing. Okay, coming off here at Bravo. Skavsta traffic, Mac Air 572 is off runway 8 on Bravo to the ramp. Okay, so let's do this real quick here. All right, nose light to taxi. Strobes off. Would kill the wing. APU. Okay, and while we're waiting on it, flaps open. Oh. Go to on. Transponder, radar are off, and lights are set. We're good to taxi. Okay, flaps are coming up. Okay, so let's find a spot here real quick. We'll get up closer to, like I said, up on the other side of the building there. Should be plenty of room for us. We'll be replaying it here momentarily as we get in and get shut down. That's what looks good right here. Get those landing lights turned, or lights off all the way. Okay, parking brake set. Okay, so after landing, everything's been completed. The only thing left to do is turn the bleed valve on for the APU. Lights are all off. Okay, okay, throttles to idle. Engine 1 off. Engine 2 off. Okay, external lights are already off. Fuel pumps off. Brake fan off. And there we go. We're almost shut down here. Okay, so what we're going to do, let me get a couple things. Okay, PIREP's been filed with Mac Air. Close that out. And let's come off Poscon here. All right, and we have control of that back. All right, so just want to make sure we're off Poscon. That's the big thing. Okay, and we are. Okay, so let's queue it up and take a look at what we've done here. So, the review. Let's take a look. That didn't look too bad from that angle, other than the squiggling around on the ground. Oh, take a look out the window. All right, that looked really good from the one side of the aircraft. Let's take a look on the other side. Oop, let's try that one. I'll take that landing as well. That looks good. All right, we're gonna roll it back one more time. And we'll go from our last viewpoint, which will be about, we'll start from there. We'll kind of watch it from the tower and just let it taxi in. Folks, that's gonna be a wrap here for this flight and this stream. We thank you all for joining. Want to say thank you to Play It Dope ALT. We appreciate the follow, along with Nathan_in_once. We sure appreciate y'all coming along, following us. Hope you'll enjoy the flights that we have scheduled for the next few days. Been a blast flying from St. Petersburg to Skavsta. So bringing the Airbus in and just have enjoyed the whole flight. Folks, I hope y'all have a great night, great rest of your day, depending on the time zone you're in. We again thank you for flying with Mike. We thank each and every one of our followers. Have a great night and God bless.